I'd like to thank you all for joining us this morning. I'm Peggy Campbell, and I started the We Can't Wait Facebook page group as a meeting place for auto crash survivors, their families, and healthcare providers to share information and stories. And it started just over a month ago, and we already have 2,300 members who have done just that. They've shared their tragedies and they shared their successes that through no fault and hard work and perseverance, they were able to survive and have a good life. And now that hope and that success is turning to devastation, fear, panic as we move towards July 1st. I did the site because my sister is an auto crash survivor. 20 years ago, she was injured in a rollover car accident. She was paralyzed from the chest down, C5 spinal cord injury. And as devastating and as shattering as that was, with the help of no fault, she was able to reinvent herself. She went back to school, she got a PhD in rehab counseling, and she's now teaching in a university. And better than that, she is living by herself with the aid of 24-hour care through no fault. So her success story is shared by thousands of others around the state, but that's all about to end because of what's going to happen July 1st. In 2019, the lawmakers sided with the out-of-state auto insurance companies to reform the law over the concerns of auto crash survivors and their families and caregivers. So now we're calling on lawmakers to please fix the most damaging aspect of this law before it's implemented on July 1st. And starting on July 1st, the reform is going to make reimbursement cuts to healthcare providers by 45%. They're going to take a 45% cut in their reimbursement rate. And I don't know many businesses that can survive with 45% of what they were making. And many are starting to send out notices to their patients and employees that they're having to close their doors starting June 30th. So looking at the bios of lawmakers around the state, says that 56 of them are small business owners. And I'd like to ask them, can your business survive if the government were to say to you, we're going to cut your pay by 45%? Would that work? No, it's really sad that that's happening. But here's the other sad part is as we talk to legislators, we realize that they don't know that these past auto crash survivors are not grandfathered in to the new law. And even more devastating than that is the fact that because they're not grandfathered in, there's over $20 billion that's sitting in the MCCA catastrophic fund for their care that's not going to be used. Well, I shouldn't say it's not going to be used because what's going to happen is it's going to be diverted into the pockets of the insurance companies. Now think about that. $20 billion of bonus to insurance companies, while the auto crash survivors, their families, the people who care for them, the organizations and their families are going to suffer, but they're going to get $20 billion. So we hope to prevent this injustice from happening by imploring our lawmakers to pass the two bills that are currently in the House and the Senate that provide a narrow technical fix to this most damaging part of the law. It doesn't change anything else. It just speaks to the fee schedule. This is House Bill 4486 and Senate Bill 314. These bills are being held in committee and not going anywhere. And there's a lot of support, I know, by lawmakers to pass these bills. And so I urge you to ask the people who are stonewalling this to please, please, for our sake, give it a look. There's money in the catastrophic fund, insurance rates aren't going to go up. Why don't you pass this bill? And like I said, many of the healthcare providers aren't going to make it on 45%. Many are sending out those letters to employees and their patients saying that they're going to close. And right now, I'm going to ask Dr. Randy Bruce, who's one of the first to actually have to send those letters out, to speak to us about what he went through. Now, he's the first, and there's a line of others who are actually posting on our site that they're closing their doors come the end of June. So Dr. Bruce, will you tell us what you went through to come to the decision that you had to close your business?
Well, thank you, Peggy, and good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. My name is Dr. Randall Bruce, and I am co-owner of Aspire Rehabilitation Services. We are one of the service providers that Peggy has mentioned, who are being forced to close its doors. We are located in Troy, and we have been in business for over 7 years, providing residential rehabilitation services to people recovering from serious brain injuries. On April 29th, we did send out a letter to all of our patients and their caregivers, informing them that our company will be closing as of June 30th of this year. We can't absorb the 45% pay cut and stay in business. It's just impossible. We looked at everything that we could. There's just no way to do it. We employ over 50 people, all of whom will soon be out of a job. And within the last 2 days, several other companies have also announced closing by June 30th as well, laying off hundreds of employees and leaving hundreds of clients without care. And this is really just the beginning. Over the next month, I think you're going to see a lot more companies that are going to announce that they are going to have to go out of business because they just can't absorb this cut. I've been working with severely and catastrophically injured clients for over 30 years and have seen hundreds of cases where people have returned to a productive life due to the quality of rehabilitation provided in this state. Michigan has been known for providing some of the best rehabilitation, care, and research in the world for brain and spinal cord injuries. People literally come here from all over the world for care, and it is one of the things that everyone in Michigan can be proud of. Until July 1st, if there is no fix, then all of this will come crashing down. Across the state, rehabilitation facilities like mine are facing a similar fate. Some may hold on longer, but the cuts and job losses, closing of more businesses, and patients being thrown out onto the street are inevitable because, again, nobody can absorb this kind of cut to their revenues. By the way, I want our lawmakers to know that rehab facilities employ thousands of healthcare professionals in this state. These are hardworking people who have families to care for. It's just shocking that our lawmakers claim to be focused on getting people back to work after COVID, and then here they are sitting on their hands as poorly thought out legislation is about to kill thousands more jobs strictly to give the insurance industry more profits. When rehab workers and facilities disappear, it doesn't just impact car crash victims. These facilities also serve the disability community, seniors, veterans, people with work-related injuries, and more. All of these people will have dramatically less access to care unless this issue is fixed immediately. Some may not have access at all, depending upon where they live. This issue impacts far more than the post-acute rehabilitation. Many services that benefit persons with long-term care needs will be unavailable to many Michiganders who count on them now or will in the future. Some of the key services impacted include home and health private duty services, residential and assisted living supports, transportation services, and vocational supports and return to work programs. You should also know that every single taxpayer will end up paying for this inaction. Once the rehabilitation providers close their doors, the catastrophic accident victims will have nowhere to turn except to the Medicaid system for their care, which provides far less care and services than what is currently available. Also, Medicaid resources are extremely limited. So who picks up the tab for this? The taxpayers, of course. The insurance industry has successfully pushed off costs onto a fragile Medicaid system so that they can make greater profits at our expense. This was a bad law passed in the middle of the night without one single committee hearing. The $24 billion in the MCCA that has been paid by all drivers to cover the cost of care will be far in excess of what is needed under this new law. Where's the $24 billion going to go? You can bet that this is what the insurance industry was looking at when they were pushing for this law to be passed. Don't be fooled. It is not about saving drivers money. This is about lining the pockets of big insurance. Many, if not most people, will not save significant money on their auto insurance, especially in light of what they are giving up or the extra insurance they must now purchase, such as higher limits of liability or umbrella policies to protect what they have. My own personal insurance has increased over $500 per year due to these new costs. So representatives and senators, we are pleading for your help. You have the power to fix this, and these bills are ready to go in the House and Senate. If action isn't taken by June 30th, we are just going to see a system that has been built up over 40 years and that has done a wonderful job completely collapse, and thousands of patients will be without care. It is really a tragedy that does not have to happen. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Bruce, thank you for sharing that with us. It's very enlightening statements that you have made. And next, I would like to introduce one of the mothers who is caring for an auto crash survivor, Chris Ruckel Mayhem from Traverse City. Chris, would you like to tell us about your life now?
Hi, Peggy. Thanks for having me here to speak for many thousands of people in Michigan that are in our same situation. We're terrified of what's going to happen after July 1st. And thanks for creating the Facebook page. We can't wait. It pulled a group of people together that have really similar situations and concerns. So hopefully our voices are being heard in Lansing. A little bit about our story. This is my daughter, Brittany, behind me, and our caregiver, Kara, who helps us. And again, Brittany's story started on April 11, 2007. She was 9 years old. She was on her way to school, 4th grade, with her grandmother and her brother. And I was traveling on business out of state. And unfortunately, the day took a change and changed our lives forever. So about 31 days in PICU and the following 4 months at Mary Free Bed Rehab Center. And because of auto no fault at that time, Brittany was able to make such gains. She had such severe brain damage that they didn't think she'd ever wake up, let alone be able to speak again or walk. So we've made great gains because of auto no fault over the past 14 years. Not that that's not been a challenge, because the system itself had some fixing to do, but we've gotten her the care that she deserves and that she was promised by our insurance company. And as a mother, I bought insurance to protect my family, and I'm just really devastated that we're even talking about how this could possibly end after July. It just doesn't make any sense. We've converted our lower level here behind me into Brittany's workout area. We have small business owners come into our house 3 to 4 times a week to help her with her therapy. And without those people being able to help us out, there's no way Brittany's going to keep making gains that she makes. We also have attendant care, home health care aides that come in and help, because certainly I can't do it myself. And the question that comes in where if we can't, the lawmakers want to wait and see what happens after July, I can kind of tell you with my experience that we tried home health care agencies in our area, and we'd get no call, no shows. And while I was still working, so in 2018, after a 20-year job that I had, that I loved, that I was really good at, I had to quit to care for Brittany because I'd get calls the morning of, and I just couldn't try to be both at that time. So my concern is that if we already have shortages in attendant care pre-COVID, pre-cuts of 45%, it's just going to be devastating to have anybody show up for work to help us out. And it takes a village, we all know that, and I can't do it myself physically, and I'm just not prepared and can't actually do that with Brittany. And she deserves the care that she was promised by her insurance company. So, you know, I guess I'm just wondering how we can get the House and Senate Insurance Committee to bring these bills to a vote, because I do believe that when the reform was started in May of 2019, there was a lot of it that maybe they just didn't understand the consequences of the literature and the words in it. And so now we're faced with that, and we've known that it's going to happen for 2 years now, and it's becoming a reality. So I am concerned, I'm devastated. I'm not sure as a mother what I'm going to do to help my daughter continue at 23 years of age right now. Her rehab, her recovery, her rehabilitation that Auto No Fault promised her and promised me as a mother to care for her. I made that promise to her. And this is really an emergency situation. You know, these therapists and caregivers are essential workers to us. We can't survive without them. And even as I age and be able to take care of her with the 56-hour family care, I can't do it in the rehab center in Traverse City, which is limited. We're not going to be able to have those facilities available for even options, because we're told they will not be in business with the 45% cut. So I'm begging as a mother to the people, my senator, who I've had conversations with, that's just told me there's no movement in the committee. That's really not a good answer. We need to have these bills come to a vote. There's thousands of people in Michigan just like us that are begging for this law to continue on, and this insurance needs to help us. That's what we were promised, and that's just simply what we're asking for. So again, I beg, you know, all of the Lansing elected officials to please bring this up to a vote, save jobs, save our families, save our livelihood of the tragedy that we've already endured, and to try to continue on and make the best of life. So that's all I can say about that. And Peggy, thanks again for creating the Facebook page. We can't wait. You know, and everyone else that I've come to with all the stories there, we're just asking, all of us are just asking for some help and what's right. So please do what's right.
Okay, Chris, thank you for sharing that story with us. And it's good to see Brittany in the background getting her therapy today. I know this has been so hard for everyone, and now I'd like to have you hear another story from Amber Marcy. Amber is one of the survivors who has thrived because of the care she's gotten through no fault insurance. So Amber, would you please share your story with us?
Yes. Good morning. Thank you everyone for being here, and thank you, Peggy, for all you are doing. My name is Amber Marcy. I live in Saugatuck, and my life took a total 180 in June of 1996. I was 15 when I was a passenger in a car accident that left me a quadriplegic. Despite being a quad, I've managed to keep myself healthy. I work full time. I go to therapy twice a week. I volunteer, and I'm extremely active in my community. And this is only possible because of the attendant care that I receive from my no-fault insurance. I'd say that I'm typically pretty happy overall and thriving. Unfortunately, lately, my days have been filled with fear and anxiety, anger, and overall sadness as what's to come. For the past 25 years, I've been extremely active and been able to do things because of my attendant care. I can't use the bathroom without an attendant, and I really can't function daily without them. And as someone who has fought and followed no fault for so long, I was just completely shocked that this law passed in the middle of the night and that this is becoming my new reality. But I'm here again, and I'm just begging lawmakers to listen and do the right thing for auto accident survivors in Michigan. The most concerning aspect of the reform for myself is attendant care, as I cannot function without them. I am employed in home care, so my caregivers currently make about an average of $14, $15 an hour. And it's extremely difficult to find them now. I would say in my 25 years of being paralyzed, it's harder now than it ever has been. And now with these new implementations going into place July 1st, with the 45% reduction, it's just going to mean that I'm not going to have caregivers. We cannot pay caregivers the wage that Medicaid would pay them. It's just not feasible. There's not enough money to go around to pay the caregivers, the insurance, the in-house staff, and unfortunately, companies are going to go out of business. And we have seen that a few have already said that. So I also am blessed to be part of the board of directors for Disability Network Lakeshore, which is a center for independent living that serves Allegan and Ottawa County. I'm currently the board chair, so I see firsthand what it's like for people with disabilities who are not covered under auto no fault to navigate these systems. I see how much work goes into getting the funds from the government to support them. And we are constantly helping them advocate a system that is already broken and a Medicaid system that is not prepared to take on thousands of accident survivors like myself, especially when there's a fund with over $20 billion in it. So while I know that receiving disability is, the best option for some who are auto accident survivors, there's people like me and many of my peers who are capable of working and want to work. And this is no longer going to be an option for me because I'm not going to have the proper attendant care to be able to do those things. So there are also survivors unlike me that require, care in long-term facilities. Michigan has the best, some of the best long-term care facilities to care for people with these complex injuries. And they're not going to be able to stay in business either with a 45% reduction. So yes, the new law reads that we have lifetime benefits, but we really won't have benefits when there's no providers. Home care companies aren't going to be able to stay in business. Long-term facilities aren't going to stay in business. And in the end, people like me and others injured in auto accidents are going to lose their independence and their overall health. We'll be living in nursing homes. We won't really be living at the state's expense. So I'm here asking lawmakers what we're supposed to do on July 1st. Where will I get the care I need? Where will the over $20 billion go? Are auto accident survivors really going to be forced into nursing homes, companies out of business, healthcare workers out of jobs? I just don't believe that that was the intention of this reform. And I'm here to say that it doesn't have to be this way, that there's options to fix these unintended outcomes. So I'm asking lawmakers to please do the right thing to one, either delay the new implementations and truly research the cost savings to taxpayers, or two, pass House Bill 4486 and Senate Bill 314 that seeks a capped rate instead of a forced 45% reduction. Myself and so many others have worked so hard to get where we were today, and we would not be here without the benefits of no fault. My family and others have paid for these benefits, and it's really time for the lawmakers to stand up and do what's right for protecting those that were injured in auto accidents and those who will be injured in auto accidents. That's all I have for today. Thank you very much.
Okay, Himber, thank you for sharing that heartening story with us. And we have another survivor to hear from. Brian Woodward is here with us today, and he has yet another story of success and impending devastation because of these changes. Brian, will you share your story with us, please?
Sure, Peggy. Thank you very much for having me. Hello, and thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Brian Woodward. I was involved in a catastrophic accident when I was 24. I am now 62. On November 5th, 1983, I was involved in a single vehicle crash. I broke my neck, which left me paralyzed with no functional use of my arms and legs and difficulty breathing. Initially, I was on a ventilator. As I progressed through my care, the vent was removed. I spent 9 months in the hospital and rehab. The days in rehab were on a schedule. Breakfast, physical therapy. Exhausted, I would take a nap, get up, eat lunch, occupational therapy. Exhausted again, back to bed. Up and off to recreational therapy. Dinner and to bed for the night, being turned every 2 hours to prevent bed sores. 7 months of that until discharge in 1984. I transitioned home and immediately started thinking about entering the workforce with 24/7 assistance. Thanks to the treatment and support that Michigan's auto insurance has provided, I became a productive citizen. For 6 years, with the help of my assistants and family, I coached Little League Baseball. In those 6 years, I also went to college. I moved to the campus of Northwood University, and with the help of assistants, I went to all my classes and graduated with a BBA, magna cum laude, in May of 1990. In November of 1990, I started work as a contractor to an auto company and have been there for 30 years. A day in my life consists of being awakened at 5:30 a.m. by high-tech assistants, getting washed and partially dressed, putting electrodes on my arms and legs, and getting on the e-stem bike for 1 hour. That takes about 3 hours to accomplish. After that, I get completely dressed. I'm fed breakfast and rush off to work. Arriving at work, my assistant helps me get set up at the computer, and I begin my work as a computer support person. All throughout the day, my assistant helps me with feeding, toileting duties, and other things. After work, I head out to run a few errands and then back home to dinner. 2 times a week, I get occupational therapy. The remaining time, I read my Bible and catch up with friends and family on the computer. Then I go to my exercise mat about 10 p.m., where my assistants stretch my arms and legs to keep them from atrophying and contracting. That takes about 2 hours. Now I go to bed, and I have to get hooked up to a breathing machine that helps me sleep. I wear monitors to make sure my oxygen, heart rate, and blood pressure levels are staying in normal range. Now my assistants position me for some sleep. Then my day begins all over again. On the weekends, I may go fishing, hunting, or participate in community organizations. On Sunday, it's off to church and singing in the choir. Then shopping, out to dinner with a friend, or to a movie. Now with COVID, it's difficult to find assistance or to go anywhere. My success story demonstrates the intent of the Michigan auto insurance laws, which is to restore someone back to as close to normal as they were before their accident. My story is one of faith in God, perseverance, hard work, and dignity. Starting July 1, stories like mine will become a thing of the past. My success story will also become a thing of the past. It will come to a screeching halt with attendant care receiving a pay cut. There will be reduced services, stopping much needed therapies, and reducing my attendant care staff and quality. If I'm paying out of pocket for these services, my bills would soon overtake me, and I would end up losing my house, my job, go on Social Security disability, Medicare, and end up in a nursing facility. I would be a burden to society and my family, which is what I was grateful to the auto insurance laws for helping me avoid. I invite our elected officials and members of the media to come visit me and see what my life is like. Maybe then you might also join me in asking, how are people like me going to get care we need starting July 1? Thank you for your attention.
Well, thank you, Brian, and I'd like to thank the rest of our guests for sharing your very heartening and truthful stories about what it's like to live with these injuries, being an auto crash survivor. And again, I'd like to urge lawmakers to consider these bills. We're talking about Senate Bill 4486, the Senate Bill 0314, and Senate Bill, the House Bill 4486. I'm confident that if you really understand what's going on and how it's going to affect thousands of people, you will pass these bills and be able to save the fee schedule and the lives of many of these people. And now at this time, I'd like to ask our members of the press who are here today if they have any questions that they'd like to ask us. There any questions? Well, I just hope that you were able to gain a better understanding of what the no-fault reform meant, what it's done, and why we so drastically need to get these bills passed. We're really imploring our lawmakers to ask the powers that be to understand what's going on and how we will be harmed and affected if these bills are not enacted. Again, I'll ask, does anyone have a question that they'd like to pose to any of the panelists here this morning?
Peggy, I'm not seeing anyone unmute themselves. If anyone's having trouble unmuting themselves, just shoot a note in the chat, but we'll give it another second or two.
You know, again, I'd just like to encourage the news media, the lawmakers, to go to We Can't Wait and see the stories, the hundreds of stories of people who have survived these auto crashes, that have put lives back together, are living with some form of dignity because of the no-fault laws and the care that's provided and the services that are provided. It's made a tremendous difference in lives. Okay, I see.
There's a question from Virginia Gordon.
Yep.
Michigan Radio. Go ahead, Virginia.
Hi, I wonder, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
I wonder if you could just spell out a little bit, unless this is going to be spelled out in the press release, what happened in the no-fault, what it is in the no-fault insurance law that you describe as being passed sort of in the middle of the night without understanding. What are the provisions in that are leading to this, and what exactly are you asking to have changed? I'm sorry, I'm ignorant.
No, it's a good question. I'll try to answer that in part. The law that was passed back in May of 2019 was basically a total revamping of the auto no-fault system that had been in place since about 1973. And since that time, we've been living under the no-fault system. What this bill did was move us from no-fault basically back to a tort system. And what that means is if you're in a serious automobile accident and you don't have enough coverage, you have to sue the other driver for your coverage. It put into place different levels of PIP coverage. So before it was everybody had unlimited coverage. This changed it to levels of $250,000 for most people automatically if they didn't choose anything, or $50,000 if they were on Medicaid. They could go for $500,000, or they could go for unlimited, but they would have to pick those higher levels. So what happens then is they tried to sell this law as by putting in these PIP choice amounts and by putting in these fee cuts to providers, which the fee cut goes back to your charge master as of January 1st, 2019. They say part of the intent of the law was to cut down on people in the industry who were overcharging. The problem is that this law, because it puts in a 45% cut to your fees as of January 1st, 2019, it leaves the people who are overcharging basically intact. They can absorb the 45% fee because they were overcharging. A company like mine, we typically made about a 10% profit margin. On a good year, maybe somewhere between 10 and 15%. We can't absorb a 45% fee cut. Most other providers cannot. So that's putting us out of business, and it's going to put a lot of other people out of business. So those were some of the most important things, part of that law that passed. So 45% cuts go to attendant care, guardianship services, transportation, a whole slew of different providers in this industry. And it also caps attendant care for family members to 56 hours a week. So a family member can get paid only up to 56 hours a week. If you have somebody or you need 24 hours of care every day, then for those other hours, you have to bring strangers into your house that don't know you. And a lot of people don't want strangers coming into their house. They want their family members or other people that they know and trust to provide all of that care. So it did some very drastic things in the name of trying to save money, but it's not saving any money, because now that we're back to a tort state, you have to buy higher limits of liability and an umbrella, because if you hit somebody and you severely injure them, they're going to go through that. If they have $250,000 of coverage, they're going to go through that $250,000 very, very quickly. And then you become their no-fault insurance, because they're going to sue you for anything that goes beyond that $250,000. So now you have to buy the increased liability limits, and you have to buy an umbrella if you have anything that you want to protect in case you injure somebody. All the while, there's $24 billion sitting in the MCCA, and who's going to end up with that money? That's what the insurance companies want. So they sold this lie that they're going to save the people of Michigan money, but they're really not. And they're going to try to get as much of that $24 billion as they can in the MCCA that's going to end up going unused, most of it, because now they've decreased benefits so dramatically.
And if I can just add real quick on the attendant care, a family member, and what our adjuster told us is we can use an outside agency for the over 56 hours. But the real problem up here in Traverse City, and a lot of the shortage in staffing is already difficult to get shifts covered. Just like I mentioned yesterday, we had a no call, no show. So those rates will also be, like Amber mentioned, cut 45%. So that they're saying you can, it doesn't have to be family, and we already have the extra help in here. The problem is nobody's applying for these jobs at the hourly rates now, let alone when they're cut 45%. I just wanted to add that.
That's very important. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, and the whole thing comes down to there were parts of the system that weren't working, and why not just fix those parts of the system rather than making that 45% cut across the board, which harms everybody. And there's a lot of other things that are going to go missing, care to people with the no fault. But we're just asking for this narrow technical fix. Just fix the fee schedule with it's a reasonable rate. It cuts, if there was any gouging, it cuts that, and it allows people to get their care, the care they need, because providers can stay in business. And they're going out of business fast. So we need to act. We need you to act, lawmakers, now. Please do it for us. Are there any other questions, comments?
Yeah, I have a quick question. Elena Holland with WZZM in Grand Rapids. We talked about this a little bit already, but we talked a lot about previous crash survivors. What's this going to mean for people who get into an accident and are hurt or injured after July 1st? What could that mean for them?
It means that unlike past auto survivors who have had intensive therapies, those therapies are not going to be available for them because providers are out of business. So they're not going to, probably they're not going to survive as much as we have in the past. They're going to die. And then what's going to happen for their care is like the scenario Dr. Bruce talked about. People are going to have to spend all their money trying to get care however they can. And then they're going to go bankrupt and on Medicaid. And then taxpayers are going to pay for them instead of the catastrophic fund like is happening right now.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a very important point. After July 1st, there's going to be so far fewer providers that provide a lot of these long-term kinds of therapies or residential settings. That's the difference between our no-fault and health insurance. Health insurance provides very limited coverage. Auto no-fault was designed as a catastrophic insurance program. It was really unique and it's done an absolutely great job. People who are seriously catastrophically injured in automobile accidents sometimes require lifetime treatment and care that other insurance companies do not cover. Insurance companies like Blue Cross or Medicare or whatever, they don't install ramps in your home. They don't do home modifications that you may need if you've got a wheelchair now that you have to get through your home. They don't do automobile or van modifications so that you can actually drive to be more independent. They don't cover if you need physical therapy for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or occupational therapy. They're very limited. They don't cover that. Auto no fault covers that because it was designed as a catastrophic insurance plan for people with those kinds of injuries, and it did it very well. After July 1st, a lot of people or most people are going to have limited PIP, or that personal insurance program that provides that unlimited coverage. They're now going to have 250,000 or 500,000 or less. People think that's a lot of money. We're seeing people come out of ERs now that have less than that lifetime PIP that had the 250,000 and they've already capped out. Emergency services, surgeries, whatever else they need right up front is incredibly expensive. People are exhausting those insurance program or that insurance money or that PIP money, and they're going to be without that coverage. So there's a lot of things that have already changed. There's more that's changing July 1st that are really going to impact survivors long-term in a very negative way.
Thank you, Elena, for that question. Are there any more questions or comments that you'd like to make? Okay, again, I just ask our lawmakers, please do what you can to get these bills heard in the insurance committees. They're being held up, they're being stonewalled. Nobody's paying attention to them. So please, I know there's a lot of lawmakers we've had letters from. They said they support the bills, and if they come up for a vote, they will vote for them, but they're being held hostage in the insurance committees. Please do what you can to urge your colleagues and the powers that be. We can't wait and see because it's already falling apart. It's going to be devastation. It's going to be so disheartening. It's so cruel for so many people. We are panicking. We're asking you to pass these bills.